So there's a video going around online right now with a man named Simon Sinek discussing the millennial paradox, and nothing gets me more fired up than overgeneralization of my people, so here we are. I don't want to get too specific about the video itself. It's more of a jumping off point for what I'm going to talk about later. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I put a link to the video in the description below, as well as some links to some sources that I used in making this video. The gist is that millennials are difficult to work with because we're some mix of entitled, self-centered, or lazy, and moreover, we have these traits as a result of bad parenting, an addiction to social media, impatience, and unchangeable and unsupportive corporate environments. That comes straight from the video. That's like, I took notes. And I just think it's really interesting because I've seen this reposted a lot from people my age, either being like, oh, this guy sucks, or like, yes, very poignant, very important, everyone watch this, it's so important, oh my gosh. And then I've also seen like an older generation posting it, like my parents' age, being like, tough love millennials, this is what's going on, and nah. And I see all of those things, and I'm like, but why? Why do we harp on this so much? I mean, why point it out? Why focus on these flaws? And, moreover, why is it that millennials are told that it's not our fault that we are the way we are, yet we're expected to do something about it? Because if it isn't our fault, then that means it's the fault of the people that raised us, which is one of the major arguments in this video. But, like, why aren't those people doing anything about it other than, like, reposting a video on social media? Like, okay. I could go on and on about why this particular discussion bothers me, and I'm sure there's someone watching this video right now that's like, oh, poor millennial, getting offended by criticism, how typical. But there are other sides to the story here, and I want to talk about them. So let's start with social media. Generation Y is reportedly addicted to social media, so much so that we are increasingly depressed and anxious and self-centered. This argument assumes that social media is a vice, and while I do know that there are people that lean on it for self-worth, the social media dependency issue is not generational, it's societal. Generationally, millennials are tech savvy in comparison to our elders, with a few exceptions of course. But as a society, we all struggle to connect on a human level. We ignore each other when we see each other in public, we bury ourselves in our phones and our devices. It's not that we are precisely overusing or addicted to our technology, it's that we've been using it in kind of the most mundane, basic ways. I know why I use social media. It's not because I have a need for connection or instant gratification. It's because I see it as a tool for self-expression. That's why I make YouTube videos. That's why I guess some people curate Instagram themes, which is a concept I don't totally understand, or like name their Facebook photo albums with song lyrics. For me, it's always been about art and creativity and kind of a new medium to work with. I want to go back for a second to this link that is made between depression and the use of the internet and social media, because it's an argument that's used often as evidence that my generation is collectively suffering. I had a professor in college tell me once that when he was my age, his generation certainly dealt with mental health issues like depression and anxiety, but nobody talked about it. You just sort of pretended it didn't exist. I've seen jokes made in the media and entertainment recently about millennials and their therapy and emotional support dogs and social anxiety. First of all, these comments are offensive and petty. Second, incorporating mental health into an argument about the flaws of a single generation, a single vein of people, is just wrong. It took years for mental health issues to be validated as something other than insanity. My generation has played a major role in bringing the conversation to the forefront. We want to talk about it. We want to figure out why these things are happening, and moreover, we want to fix our own problems and those of our elders and those of the youngers. What's the opposite of elders? Youngers? Youth? I have depression. I'm currently in the thick of it. My depression is not because of Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or my own self-centeredness. There's this idea that my generation doesn't get it, that we want all of these things for ourselves, like love and happiness and fulfillment, and we know that they take time, but we're not willing to wait for them. And so if we're currently in a position where we're not happy or we're not feeling fulfilled, we just ditch it and give up on it because we want that thing. And this just, to me, like, let me just set the record straight. I don't expect to find deep meaning in my life or in my career, two separate things, right now. I'm 22 years old and I'm not in love with my life or my work or another person. And I think that's totally okay. We're all just really young. We haven't lived our lives yet. We haven't turned 45 and written 4 books and had a TED Talk. I mean, maybe we will one day, but God, just give us a break. And millennials, give yourselves a break. I'll say this. I know I'm allowed to change my situation when I know I'm unhappy, because I know when I'm unhappy. I've reached that point in my development. I have felt unmotivated and unfocused in corporate environments. I have felt like a minuscule cog on a grandfather clock that will keep running with or without me. Some might say it's because I've been thrown into a machine that is run by big, giant titans who are just not going to change things. Some might say that it's because the machine itself is too old to be fixed. But this notion that millennials can't change things, that we can't, make a difference, that we're scoffed at for wanting to make an impact, which apparently is meaningless. This is what frustrates me the most. Parents, teachers, friends, employers, my own colleagues, you're failing to recognize the wealth of opportunity that there is to be found in this generation. If we can all be generalized under one somewhat bothersome label, then I think the positives must be generalized too. It's no secret that the world seems a lot darker than maybe it used to be. Reason being that we literally have death and tragedy placed in the palm of our hands instantly on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day. The world has never been so connected. Bad news has never come so quick, and we never had to process things so fast. And you can see it in how we mourn the loss of celebrities we never knew, or how we blame 2016 for what seems like madness. But it isn't madness. It's reality, and it's much more difficult to avoid now. We as a generation don't really have the choice anymore to live in our own bubble of personal happiness and 2.5 kids and a 9-to-5 job. We know that there's more out there worth pursuing. For me, it's that there's more things out there worth fixing. That's my own personal problem. It's unfair to throw this blanket of entitlement, addiction, and selfishness over an entire generation, because I think it prevents us from doing the very thing we may have been built for: progressing and bringing positive change to a world that so desperately needs it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please let me know and hit the thumbs up. Please share this with your friends. Step aside, Simon Sinek. The millennials are talking now. Just one that's I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I have no books. I have no PhD. I'm sorry. Comment below. Let me know what you think. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I like talking about stuff and being all philosophical. I'll be back next week with another video. I think I'm gonna sing a song for you. So that'll be fun. Cool.